Hello, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Conversation with Visionaries, a podcast series presented by Voluntary Action Network India, Vani. I'm your host, Subhashini Prabhakar from Vani's programs team. Today, we are joined by Mr. Dinesh Chandra Vyas, a distinguished development professional with over 2 decades of experience empowering marginalized communities. His work focuses on rural development with a strong integration of gender equality, climate change, disaster risk reduction, and sustainable development. Currently engaged in impactful projects across Rajasthan, where he also contributes to gender and POSH initiatives within his organization. A skilled and transformational CSO leader, Mr. Vyas brings expertise in impact assessment and participatory planning systems. जी दिनेश जी वेलकम टू द पॉडकास्ट। तो मेरा पहला सवाल है, एज ए सीएसओ लीडर, अकॉर्डिंग टू यू, व्हाट आर द मोस्ट प्रेसिंग social issues which are unique to Rajasthan?
Basically, Rajasthan is known for its vulnerability due to drought and now in changing climate change scenario, other extreme weather events are also happening. Like sometimes flash floods are coming, and uh, many times hailstorms are disturbing the agriculture of the farmers, especially poor and marginalized, suffering with a lot of losses due to these extreme weather events, along with drought. So, in current context, Rajasthan is facing a lot of challenges, and especially poor and marginalized families are facing challenges of livelihood and food security in different regions of Rajasthan. Either it is southern part where tribes live, or the desert part where most poor and marginalized community uh, are dominant, and in other regions also, like the regions of Kota, Bundi, and this Bara region where primitive tribes are living. So each and every area has unique geography and they have their challenges, and people are suffering with livelihood and food security crises.
So, sir, please share the story behind the founding of Rajmeru organization and explain a little bit about how you became involved with the organization.
As I have shared with you that Rajasthan has a lot of challenges for food security and livelihood issues. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
there were other challenges also when Rajmeru started, and Rajmeru journey is basically started with uh, a development project around 1995 in eastern, western, and southern parts of Rajasthan, where funding from the EED, before it was known, the Bradford, the word Germany was known the EED. So
Okay.
few of the organizations were implementing uh, integrated rural development kind of project in different parts of Rajasthan. And when they realized that there are some common issues uh, that needs more focus, and they should come together to work on those issues, and they formed the organization called Rajmeru. Uh, it was formed in 2003 and registered as a society under Societies Registration Act in 2007.
Okay.
So the founders were basically people who were working on the grassroots issues of Rajasthan in different parts, different regions, where this livelihood and food security, gender-related issues, or in other word we can say, women empowerment related issues were prime. And obviously the drought and uh, the disaster scenario in that sense, flash floods uh, and other issues. this was prominent, and later, and the climate change also became one of the important issue for the Rajasthan. So in that sense, the whole perspective of DRR and climate change also they considered into their intervention area. And uh, as the Rajmeru's name also formed with two words. Raj means soil and Meru means mountain. So Rajmeru's work is spreaded over from desert to the mountain areas, and it's now not only limited to the Rajasthan, but we work in three other states also: UP, Chhattisgarh, and Madhya Pradesh. And my association with development work also a long story. Uh, in 1997, I opted for my master's of social work from Udaipur School of Social Work. That time I was not aware the the definition of or the formal structure of social work, how to do and how to work. Uh,
Mm.
but when I took admission in my institute, and uh, my specialization was in HR and industrial relation. So I was supposed to work in HR field in industry, and to establish good ethics and standards for workers who are working any kind of industry. I've got challenges when I tried to join, since I come from Bhilwara, the textile city that is my hometown, and when I realized that no, I could do better in the field of social work with joining an NGO. So one offer from the national NGO came to me, and I, I I changed my pathway. And in 1999, I joined the national organization called CASA that time. And during the journey of my work in CASA, I come across these kind of initiative where Rajmeru was also implementing in Rajasthan different projects on different issues, and it was not limited up to uh, the grassroots intervention, but Rajmeru was doing a lot of work on networking and aligning with the government, and especially with the PRAs at local level. That also attracted me, and I also joined as a member later on as a member to Rajmeru, and I became the part of governance of Rajmeru. Since 2016 or 17, I'm working as a board member of Rajmeru also.
So, sir, since you have a long experience in this development sector, so how does the development sector, government, and local community work together and contribute to a particular community's development?
Basically, the development is not the development work itself is not restricted to in today's context. It is not restricted to any particular body or the institute. Uh,
Mm,
the people or the individuals or the association, uh, whoever think that they can contribute for the society, for the
mm,
cause of society, for the well-being of society, they can come to this field, and they can take up a particular issue that may be on uh, welfare activities to provide something, or sometimes NGOs or other civil society actors also coming forward. They're forming their community-based organization at local level, village level, and sometimes in the form of people's organization, community associations. They also take up some development intervention. And
mm,
in the current context, it is very needed that all these stakeholders, maybe they are individual, the social workers working at the grassroots, many civil society actors or organizations who want to contribute to the rural development field. Uh,
Mm,
they can even collaborate with the government. They can have dialogue on various issues with the government. And in my opinion, the development work is, or in Rajmeru also we say we need to have collective action in collaboration. And that could be on different issues. That could be on sustainable livelihoods, disaster preparedness, or the climate change and disaster risk reduction, women empowerment, especially in cases of Rajasthan, uh, where drought was a prominent phenomenon and was affecting the livelihood of the people. In current context, where climate change is also uh, impacting a lot, and we could see that sometimes there is a heavy rainfall, sometimes there is no rain in one particular area,
mm,
sometimes untimely rains are there, and uh, this affects badly to the agricultures of the poor and marginalized farmers, basically. So, how we can strengthen uh, the livelihood mechanism of the people, or as an alternative support when they can face the shocks of the upcoming crisis of the climate change. And there are many groups who are more vulnerable in cases of Rasan. If you we go to the Dudu and Tonk and Ajmer, these are the nearby areas of Jaipur state capital, where
mm.
many denotified tribes, uh, some of them are recognized, some of them are not recognized, but they are living in very bad condition, where till today they are not able to access different services of the government. Identity issues are there. So even after the independence, a lot of work need to be done for the poor and marginalized communities. If you take the example of Saharia community in Bara, many
Mhm.
government programs, many NGOs are working for last many years, but still there is a lot of scope to uplift them, and a lot of work is needed in the area of sustainable livelihoods, and they have a sustainable mechanism to survive with dignified life. So there are issues, and if we uh, compare with other states, the gender issues in Rajasthan uh, are still very prominent, and many in many areas, women are not able to participate uh, in Gram Sabhas and other levels of the PRIs. And if we organize them, if we aware them about these issues, sensitize them. And Rajmeru has done a lot of work on these issues. Like we have organized women's Gram Sabhas in last annual financial year, and 20 two sorry in 15 December 22 women Gram Sabhas were organized different areas of Rajasthan.
Mhm.
So that was a major achievement, and women were able to uh, come to a platform where they were sharing their issues. They were involved in the planning and decision making of the panchayat. So it's needed, very urgent, and we need to prioritize on these area of work in Rajasthan.
Sir, do you have any kind of example or a success story on how local knowledge and the traditions have influenced the projects?
Here, there are many examples from Rajasthan, especially uh, since in development sector. or in the
Mm,
development work, people's knowledge, their traditional practices are very, very important. Uh,
mm,
if you recognize them, if you involve them, and that needs to be from um, planning, decision making, and then implementation also. If you
mm,
will miss the one step, like if you involving them in the planning and next step you are skipping, then that will be not a successful model. Like we have an example where uh, a water reservoir was needed to develop in particular location of Western Rajasthan
okay.
during 2003. And
Mm-hmm.
this was the severe drought period that time also. And since sometimes projects have the limited scope, but traditional knowledge and local communities perspective is very, very important. They can tell you that where uh, a pond or a reservoir need to be dug. Uh, they know the catchment area. The local people know the catchment area. They know even the slopes also. And sometimes you will be surprised that the same location when this will be surveyed from the technical um, instruments, uh, and those will the parameters will come same, and you can go through that project's implementation. So
Mm,
uh, in these type of interventions, we took the help of the people right from the planning in their village development committees. They said they decide what work need to be done and what kind of resources are required, uh, what you will contribute. Like we ensure that some local contributions of the people are also there. So when we talk sustainability aspect of any project, like if you have developed a pond and uh, after sometimes you need to withdraw from that area, and after that who will take care of? So if you are ensuring the participation of people uh, right from the planning, uh, taking their contribution, maybe some labor they are doing from their side beyond the project total project cost. So these are few elements where we need to focus from right from the planning during the implementation and the post management of these community property resources that we call the CPR sometimes, na commons. So,
mm,
and before, if you will go in the past, people were doing uh, these development work their own. When there was no panchayat, when there was no government setup, with their philanthropic idea, they were doing some work in their village, and even that work is sustained now also in many places. So that
mm,
model we adopted, and at many places develop some water reservoirs or the common property resource in their village. So uh, there are many examples where people contributed their own. Like there is an example when a common pasture need to be developed. There was a fund in the Manrega, but
mm-hmm.
people developed with their own a common land, and then gradually they approached to the panchayat. So panchayat also ready with their funds later on, and the whole pasture uh, was developed with water conservation measures, plantation, and recently we took a drive when uh, Rajasthan government started a plantation campaign, and we also mobilize the community at the local level, their leadership in different CBOs, people's organizations. So they came forward and they approached to forest department, panchayats, different other donors who contributed the saplings, and villagers themselves dug the pit for plantation, and and they promised that we'll take care of. So around 30,000 plantation in number plantation was done across the Rajasthan with people's initiatives.
Oh, wow, that's a huge number. So, as a CSO leader, so what do you think? What do you suggest young leaders who want to join this sector and bring in some change in the society?
Yeah, this is a very critical issue in the development sector. I have realized the importance of involving youth in the development programs. Uh,
Mm.
when I started my career as a social worker in 1990, 2000, I also realized that when I was going to any village meetings, youths were not part of those meetings. And I could remember one example in the village of Savai Madhopur district, where
Mm-hmm.
we were taking a meeting with some adult groups, and some youths were discussing something and making noise and all that aside of that meeting itself. So,
Mm.
between the particular meeting, I went them. I stopped this main meeting for a few time, and when I went to them, they were not satisfied with the attitude of the adult leaders. That they shared with me that we also want to discuss many issues about the development of our own village.
Mm.
But these people don't listen to us. So they were just complaining about
Mm.
meetings. And uh, then I first time realized that basically youths think in different way. Uh,
Yes.
their temperament is different. Sometimes their perspective may be also different about the development.
Mm.
Maybe they will connect with first with the road, since they are going to school, or they run bikes, so roads are not good, so they may be dissatisfied and all that. So their perception, since they don't know exactly that how our young generations or the elder generation survived, and how they were struggling for their livelihood, and many other issues which are
Mm.
essential for living a good quality of life. So sometimes they couldn't realize, and they have different perspective and opinion about whole this whole process. So uh, and as we know that youth minds are very raw kind of they are developing their perception and perspective about many things in that age. So
Yes.
they there are chances that they could be molded in any side. If some political affiliations will come to them and will tell them that, okay, uh, this is the work for you, or any kind of people, market people can also approach them that, okay, you join us, we'll give you with you them with some amount of money, and you work for us. Maybe some temporary kind of work, like a contractor is coming, uh, some digging work is required, they will be ready for that. And sometimes they don't understand, or they couldn't assume their career pathways also. So those kind of challenges also they face, and they indulge in any kind of activity just to earn their livelihood. So this is because of different temperament, different perception, and
Mm.
different opinions about the life and the whole development aspect. So uh, we have the recent examples where uh, around 150 youths we selected past 2 years. We developed different modules like what is the basic idea of development, what is the leadership, how you can become the leader. Maybe if you are good leader, so it's not necessarily that you will contribute to the development sector only, but you can go to any career profile in future. Maybe you are working with PRIs or any other institution, corporate or whatever it is. But being a good leader will benefit you, and this will improve your communication skill or many attributes. Those are required for leadership. So we developed many modules for these youth groups, and 5, 7 modules. Like one was on basic idea of development, second was on leadership, third was on gender, fourth was on communication, fifth was on documentation, and then last one was on the disaster risk reduction, especially how to rescue people in the critical situation where when they are
Mm-hmm.
trapped in any disaster. So
Mm.
these kind of modules we have gone through for these youth groups, and around 90 youths are associated with Rajmeru in different locations of Rajasthan, and we are engaging them into participate in discussion with CBOs, people's organization, and uh, these youths help these CBOs, people's organization in uh, maintaining their documents, and sometimes they are taking the collective actions also, uh, which is which is driven by the elder leadership, but necessary support required to take up the those interventions smoothly at the grassroots level. These young people help a lot. Like many girls have come forward, uh, and since we have POSH committee in the basically internal committee through POSH, so there is a mandate that up to the CBO level that we facilitated, and these young people are part of this process also. So they are
Okay.
understanding uh, the requirement of these kind of engagement, and many of them are actively involved whatever we are doing at the grassroots levels through the CBO.
Their involvement seems to be very impactful also.
Yeah. Otherwise, you will train them, and they are not active. Then
So, what is your vision for the future of development, social development in Rajasthan?
basically, I associate my vision with my organization Rajmeru. I'm working as
Mm.
the executive operations in Rajmeru now
Yes.
as a full-time leader. Uh, and specifically, Rajmeru believes in that how we can approach those poor and marginalized communities uh, who are self-sustained in their day-to-day aspects of living a quality of life, basically. And this could be possible through their knowledge building, skill building, and this knowledge and skill building should not be in a single area, but that should be which could lead that could lead their life in a prosperous way in future. Like if there is a crisis of food security and livelihood, Rajmeru want to first identify those vulnerable groups, vulnerable communities in different parts of Rajasthan who are really suffering, who are really facing the challenges. And out of those marginalized communities, few of those could be the primitive tribes, like I have said before, the Saharias, the denotified tribes who
Yes.
do not have the recognition or their identity even today. They are living in a nomadic condition. So, how we could uh, serve people with enabling them to access the government schemes, uh, the better livelihood options, and uh, we want to work for the poor and marginalized farmers who will be facing a lot of challenges due to this climate change crisis.
Mm.
We know that the climate change is the upcoming crisis and that is impacting livelihood very badly in future. So, how we can make people resilient in future so that they can face smoothly the shocks of upcoming crisis of the climate change. And then, obviously, I've shared with you that in Rajasthan, uh, women's situation is still critical. They face
Mm.
gender-based violence, discrimination, and all these issues, especially the young girls who are not able to go school in many areas. How we can engage them with this whole development process of education, accessing health, engaging them in the Gram Sabhas and the PRIs and other institutions of governance. So they can lead towards their own development. Uh, and another focus uh, of the Rajmeru and my leadership would be that how we can self-sustain this local leadership and their institutions and uh, processes, so they can take up their own development issues in future. Like if we build good leaderships, good institutions, community institutions, they align with the PRIs, the Gram Sabhas, and other institutions of the governance. They can collaborate smoothly with the government in future for their own development. If they have their local resources, they can have their collective actions on livelihood, on conserving their common property resources like common lands and other resources. So this is the way Rajmeru want to lead the development intervention in Rajasthan in upcoming future.
Thank you so much, Dinesh ji, for sharing your perspective and experience that highlight the critical work done for sustainable development and community empowerment in Rajasthan. Thank you so much.
Welcome, Subhashini. Nice to be on this podcast.